Hey yogis, welcome to Yellow Yoga. My name is Kelly and I'll be guiding you today. Today's practice is a vinyasa flow inspired by the element of fire. That means we'll be tapping into our inner determination, our sense of confidence, and our overall sense of self. We'll start with sun salutations, and then we'll focus on strengthening the core and arms, building our self-discipline as we do so. Toward the end of the practice, we'll work in some twists and a bit more expressive movement. If you like the episode, make sure you follow the podcast so you can get notifications whenever a new episode is available. Find a nice comfy spot, roll out your mat, and let's get started. We'll start today's practice in mountain pose. So go ahead and make your way to the front of your mat, standing tall and straight, and begin to connect to your breath. Let's take a couple breaths in mountain pose and see if we can make this an extra active mountain pose today. We can focus on grounding down through the earth with active legs and feet. And we'll keep the shoulders relaxed down and away from the ears, with the chest open, shining toward the sky. Take a couple more breaths here to calm the mind and ready yourself for the upcoming practice. Maybe use these breaths to set an intention for yourself. All together, let's take one final inhale here in mountain, and exhale, let it all out. And we'll start to move together here. So inhale, lift your hands to the sky, slight back bend, gaze up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, come all the way down to forward fold, and breathe. Find some soft movement. Take a couple of breaths here. All together, we'll inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, release to forward fold, palms to the mat, step back into plank pose. Inhale, big breath here, find length in your plank. And exhale, keep the core engaged, lower all the way down to the mat, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, engage your back muscles to lift your chest off the mat for baby cobra. And exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Tuck the toes, engage your core, and inhale, push all the way up to plank pose. And exhale, send the hips high and back for downward facing dog. Inhale, big breath in. And exhale, let it all out. And we'll take a couple breaths here in downward facing dog to pedal it out, find some soft movement, really stretch out the backs of the legs. And when you're ready, use as many breaths as you need to walk your feet to meet your hands at the front of the mat. And we'll hang out here in forward fold. And we'll move all together here. So inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up to standing, hands to the sky, slight back bend. And exhale, release the hands to your side for mountain pose and breathe. We'll move through our sun salutation 2 more times and really focus on using the breath to guide our movements. Sometimes I find that I'm actually moving first and breathing after the movement. If you fall into that same boat, see if you can breathe first and let the movement follow. I'm going to cue our next sun salutation and then let you flow on your own. Let's take one final inhale here in mountain pose, and exhale, let it all the way out. And we'll start to move. Inhale, hands to the sky, slight back bend, gaze up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, hands come all the way down to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, forward fold, palms to the mat, step back into plank pose. Inhale, find length here in plank. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway to the mat. Inhale, untuck the toes, straighten the arms for upward facing dog. Find length, shoulders dropping away from the ears. And exhale, send the hips high and back for downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees slightly, gaze between the palms. And exhale, step both feet to the front of the mat for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up to standing, hands overhead, slight back bend. Exhale, release the hands to the sides for mountain pose. Whenever you're ready, you can repeat the sequence and flow on your own. If you don't remember any of the sequence, just pick your favorite poses and enjoy them. And we'll meet in mountain pose. If you're not in mountain pose already, make your way to mountain pose at the front of your mat. And we'll start to move all together once again. We'll inhale here, take a big expansive breath, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, hands to the sky, slight back bend, gaze up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release for forward fold. Palms to the mat, step back into plank pose and breathe. And we'll start to work on some alternating leg lifts using the breath to guide our movement. If at any point you need to take a break, please do. And please be mindful of your wrists here. If you start to feel too much pressure, you can lower down to the forearms for low plank, or just hang out in child's pose and wait for us. All right, on your next inhale, lift your right leg off the ground to form a straight line from the crown of your head to your heel. Exhale, keep your right leg lifted and straight. One more inhale here, find length, really push the earth away from you, keep the right leg as active as you can. And exhale, release the right leg back to the earth for plank pose. Inhale, lift your left leg off the ground now. Exhale, keep your left leg lifted. One more inhale here, find length, stay active. And exhale, release the left leg to the mat for plank pose. Inhale one final time in plank pose, as much breath as you possibly can. And exhale, lower the knees to the earth. Send the hips back for child's pose and breathe. Let's make our way into Sphinx pose now. Bring your belly to the mat with your weight propped up on your elbows. Stretch your legs out long to the back of the room. Elbows are directly under your shoulders. Forearms are creating parallel lines toward the front of the mat. Really root down through your forearms and pelvic bone here, and send energy to the legs as well for an active Sphinx. Keep breathing on your own here. And in just a couple seconds, we'll engage in the same leg lifts with the breath from low plank this time. So all together, we'll inhale here, big deep breath. And on our exhale, we'll tuck the toes, engage the core, and lift the hips for low plank pose. Keep breathing. Find some comfort here. If you need to adjust your hands or wrists, feel free to do so. And we'll start to move. On your next inhale, lift your right leg off the ground. And exhale, keep your right leg lifted. One more inhale here, find length. And exhale, release the right leg back to the earth for low plank. Inhale, lift your left leg off the ground now, left leg is straight. Exhale, keep your left leg lifted. One more inhale here, find length, stay active. And exhale, release the left leg to the mat for low plank. Inhale one final time in low plank, all the breath, all the air in. And exhale, lower the knees to the earth, sink the hips back for child's pose, and breathe. Let's come back to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Move your right hand slightly closer to the midline of your mat. Adjust your knees to be slightly wider than hip distance. Now on an inhale, lift your left hand high up to the sky, opening the shoulders, opening the chest, stretching out the side body. Gaze up toward your hand and breathe. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. See if you can find extra length here. Make yourself extra tall. From here, take that left arm and thread the needle. Send it through the space between your right arm and the mat. So your left arm, left shoulder, and the left side of your head are all resting on the mat. You can keep your right arm bent here, kind of supporting you through your twist. Or you can stretch it out toward the front of your mat over your head. Let's come all the way out of this twist. Right hand comes back to the center of the mat. And on an inhale, left arm finds its way all the way back up to the sky. Big stretch, gaze up. And exhale, left hand comes back to the mat. Place the left hand now slightly closer to the midline of your mat. And inhale, right hand reaches all the way up to the sky, and hold for a couple breaths. Find some length here on this side as well. And we'll thread the needle on this side, right arm, right shoulder, right side of the head, coming down to the mat. Breathe through this twist. And we'll come out of the twist now. Left hand comes back to the center of the mat. And on an inhale, right arm reaches all the way up to the sky. Big stretch, gaze up. And exhale, we'll come back to tabletop position. Take one big expansive inhale here. And exhale, send the hips high and back for downward facing dog. We'll take one big cleansing breath here in downward facing dog. Lots of love in. And exhale, lots of love out. Inhale, ground through the left heel. Lift the right leg back and up to the sky. And exhale, step the right leg between the palms. Inhale, find some length in your low lunge here. And exhale, lower the back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky for low lunge and breathe. When you're ready, begin to twist toward your right side, lowering your arms, hooking your left forearm against your right knee for some extra support in your twist. With your right arm, you can either send it out to the back of the room, or you can reach around and hook it to the outside of your left thigh for some extra twist support. Keep your twist, but bring your palms together, hands to heart center. Hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Actively use that elbow to push into this twist, revolved crescent lunge. See if you can keep your hands at your heart center as you twist and breathe. When you feel grounded and stable and balanced, lift that back knee off the ground. Let's slowly, mindfully come out of this twist in the exact same way we went into it. Lower the back knee, Straighten your torso, but maintain your twist. Inhale, untwist, hands reach up to the sky, slight back bend, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands frame the feet on the mat. Inhale, lift the back knee, find some length in low lunge. And exhale, step the right leg back for downward facing dog. We'll take one big cleansing breath here in downward facing dog. So inhale, lots of love in. And exhale, lots of love out. Inhale, ground through the right heel, lift the left leg back and up to the sky. And exhale, send the left foot between the palms. Inhale, find some length in your low lunge here. And exhale, lower the back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky for low crescent lunge. And breathe. When you're ready, begin to twist toward your left side, lowering your arms, hooking your right forearm against your left knee for some extra support. Keep your twist, but bring your palms together, hands to heart center. Hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Actively use that elbow to push into the twist for revolved crescent lunge. Again, see if you can keep your hands at your heart center as you twist and breathe. When you're ready, lift that back knee off the ground. And just like we did on the other side, we'll slowly come out of this twist in the same way we went into it. Lower the back knee, straighten your torso, but keep your twist. And inhale, untwist, hands reach up to the sky, slight back bend, crescent lunge. And exhale, hands frame the feet on the mat. Inhale, lift the back knee, find some length in your low lunge. And exhale, step the left leg back for downward facing dog. Inhale, lots of love in. And exhale, lots of love out. Slowly walk your feet to the front of the mat to meet your hands in forward folds. Take as many breaths as you need here. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up to standing, hands overhead, slight back bend. And exhale, hands to your sides for mountain pose. We're not staying here long. Inhale, raise your hands back up to the sky overhead. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips back for chair pose, and breathe. Tuck the tailbone, relax the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Take one big inhale here, and as you exhale, lift the heels off the ground, send the arms back behind you for airplane arms. Inhale, take it back to traditional chair, arms overhead, heels planted. And exhale, lift the heels, arms go back for airplane arms. Inhale, come back to traditional chair here. And exhale, we'll call this airplane chair. Continue at your own pace here for the next couple breaths. On your next inhale, keep your heels lifted, straighten the legs, reach all the way up to the sky. Make yourself as tall as you can. And exhale, drop the heels, hinge forward at the hips for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms, step both feet back to plank. Inhale, big breath, find length. And exhale, lower all the way down to your stomach and breathe. Place your palms under your forehead here for a couple breaths. Try to make yourself comfortable in this restorative pose. And take a second to honor yourself here. Honor your path, honor your purpose, honor your place in the universe. And we'll slowly come up off the mat and make our way onto our back. Bring your knees to your chest for a little squeeze. Plant your feet on the earth, just about an inch from your butt. Now press your feet into the floor and inhale, lift your hips up, rolling your spine off the mat for bridge pose. Press down into the arms and shoulders to lift the chest and breathe. Slowly drop your hips back down to the earth, one vertebra at a time. As always, before we move into Shavasana, take a couple seconds to check in with yourself and think about what your body needs before being able to find stillness. I'll give you 1 minute to do whatever final poses you need. And when we come back together, we'll move into our final, most sacred pose of the practice. When you're ready, make your way back to your back if you're not already there. Stretch out your legs. Bring your arms to your sides and settle into your Shavasana. Bring your attention to your breath. If any thoughts come up, you know what to do. Put them on the shelf to be thought about later. I encourage you to remain here for a couple of minutes to allow the body, mind, and spirit to absorb the benefits of your practice today. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you peace and light as you continue your journey. From my heart to yours, namaste.